The skunk, one of North America's most distinctive and misunderstood creatures, has a history that is both fascinating and deeply connected to the environments it inhabits and the cultures that have observed it over time. Skunks belong to the family Mephididae, and their most defining characteristic is their remarkable defense mechanism, the ability to spray a pungent odor from their anal glands when threatened. This biological adaptation has shaped how skunks evolved, how predators interact with them, and how humans have perceived them throughout history. To truly understand the history of skunks, it is necessary to explore their evolutionary origins, ecological role, cultural significance, and their relationship with humans across centuries. Their story is not only one of biology, but also one of resilience, symbolism, and adaptation in a constantly changing world. The evolutionary roots of skunks trace back millions of years. Fossil evidence shows that skunks have ancient ancestors dating to the Miocene epoch, approximately 20 to 25 million years ago. Early skunk-like mammals were smaller and less specialized, but already displayed some of the characteristics associated with the modern skunk family. These early mammals were part of the mustelid family, which includes weasels, badgers, and otters, but over time, skunks developed distinct features that justified their classification into a separate family. One of the most unique evolutionary developments was the creation of their scent glands, which proved to be a highly successful survival adaptation. While many small mammals relied on speed, camouflage, or burrowing to avoid predators, skunks evolved chemical warfare. This adaptation made them less reliant on physical strength or speed and allowed them to survive in varied environments. As skunks spread through North and South America, they diversified into different species, such as the striped skunk, spotted skunk, hognose skunk, and hooded skunk. The striped skunk, perhaps the most recognizable species, has become an iconic animal across North America. Its bold black and white pattern serves as a warning to potential predators, a natural form of aposematism, which means using distinct markings to signal danger. Unlike many prey animals that seek to remain hidden, skunks advertise their presence boldly, knowing that most predators will avoid them. The spotted skunks, smaller but more agile, even display an impressive handstand when preparing to spray, warning their enemies with a dramatic performance before unleashing their chemical defense. Over thousands of years, predators learned to respect these warning signals. Coyotes, foxes, and even large carnivores like bears usually give skunks a wide berth, making the skunk one of the few small animals rarely preyed upon in large numbers. In ecosystems, skunks have played an important role as both predators and prey, though their unique defense makes them less likely to be eaten. They are omnivorous creatures, consuming insects, small mammals, fruits, and vegetation. Their appetite for insects such as beetles, crickets, and grubs makes them beneficial to agricultural systems, as they help control pest populations. They also eat rodents and snakes, contributing to the balance of ecosystems. Despite their foul-smelling defense, skunks themselves are sometimes preyed upon by birds of prey, such as great horned owls, which have a very weak sense of smell and are thus unaffected by their chemical spray. This predator-prey relationship highlights the delicate balance of adaptation and counter-adaptation in nature. Beyond their biological history, skunks hold an important place in the cultural history of indigenous peoples and later in European folklore. Native American tribes had varied views of the skunk, often shaped by the animal's distinctive traits. Some tribes associated the skunk with respect and caution due to its potent defensive abilities. The Cherokee, for example, considered the skunk as a symbol of protection, as its spray was thought to ward off evil spirits. The Hopi used the skunk in their clan system, where it symbolized defense and boundaries. In other cultures, skunks were seen as tricksters or clever survivors, admired for their ability to escape threats without relying on size or aggression. Their bold markings and fearless behavior gave them a mythical aura, inspiring both reverence and wariness. When European settlers arrived in the Americas, they encountered the skunk for the first time. The word skunk itself comes from the Algonquian language, specifically from terms like siganku or shikanku, which refer to this remarkable animal. Early settlers quickly learned to give skunks space, as their spray was not only unpleasant but also difficult to remove. However, Europeans also saw value in skunks. Their fur, particularly during the 18th and 19th centuries, became a minor part of the fur trade. Skunk pelts, sometimes referred to as Alaska sable to make them sound more appealing, were used in clothing and accessories. While not as highly prized as beaver or mink, skunk fur nevertheless contributed to trade and fashion. Farmers also recognized the usefulness of skunks in controlling crop pests, though their tendency to dig in gardens sometimes made them unwelcome visitors. As the centuries passed, skunks became embedded in folklore, literature, and later popular culture. Their reputation as smelly but harmless creatures turned them into symbols of both comedy and caution. In children's stories, skunks were often portrayed as misunderstood animals, dangerous only when provoked. In cartoons, most famously with the Warner Brothers character Pepe Le Pew, skunks were anthropomorphized into figures of humor and romance, though these portrayals were far from accurate representations of real skunks. Still, their presence in popular media reinforced their place in the human imagination. In modern history, the skunk has come to represent both a nuisance and an important ecological partner. Urbanization and expansion of human settlements have brought skunks into closer contact with people. Suburban areas, with their abundance of trash, pet food, and gardens, provide ample resources for skunks, leading to frequent encounters. While some see skunks as pests due to their digging or their occasional denning under houses, wildlife experts often stress their ecological importance. Skunks help reduce insect populations, eat rodents that can damage crops, and maintain balance in ecosystems. Additionally, their adaptability has allowed them to survive despite habitat loss, showing their resilience as a species. Scientific interest in skunks has also grown over time. Researchers have studied the chemical composition of their spray, discovering that it contains sulfur-based compounds called thiols, which are responsible for its powerful odor. Scientists have also investigated the medical potential of skunk compounds and their use in understanding olfactory science. Domesticated skunks, bred in captivity, have occasionally been kept as exotic pets, though this remains controversial and heavily regulated. Such practices highlight the continuing fascination humans have with these unusual creatures. Today, the history of skunks continues to evolve alongside human societies. They remain one of the few animals that inspire both laughter and caution, with their bold black and white stripes serving as a universal symbol of warning. From ancient ecosystems to modern cities, from indigenous legends to cartoons, skunks have carved out a place in the natural and cultural history of the Americas. Their story is one of survival through adaptation, of a small animal that developed one of the most effective defensive strategies in nature and used it to thrive across centuries. Though often misunderstood and maligned for their odor, skunks remind us of the complexity of nature and the diverse ways animals evolve to protect themselves. Their history reflects not only the journey of a species, but also the ongoing relationship between humans and wildlife, a relationship marked by respect, curiosity, and the constant challenge of coexistence.